All right, after 65 days on the Great Divide, a little over 3,030 miles, over 187,000 feet of gain, I figured I'd give you all a quick rundown of what I took and just kind of give a brief, did it work, would I change it, would I not? Spoiler alert, there's not much I would change. I'm happy with all the gear I brought. I was happy with the way the bike handled. I was happy with my experience. So without further ado, I'm going to get into a gear breakdown here because that seems to be something people like to know. I'm going to give that to you all here. Now please excuse my allergies. I also live in a city, so you're probably going to hear cars, children's planes, helicopters, and all sorts of stuff. Without further ado, let's start with what I wore every day. All right, every day I wore a pair of padded, thin liner bike shorts. Now, these are not as thick, like I said, thin liner. These are not as thick as normal bike short. These are actually even thinner than a triathlon short. So wore these, brought 2 pairs of them. Wore them every day while I rode. I also wore every day, as you may have saw, was a pair of black cycling shorts. No pads, they're just shorts. These are made by, I believe, Backcountry. This is their Slick Rock short. Nice thing about it here, if you can see, is we got a little bit of perforation here. Just provides some airflow. Stand up off the saddle, help dry all your bits and bobs out, keep you from getting all nasty down there, saddle sores and such. Also, what I wore every day, I'm sure you've heard tons of people talk about, these are starting to really catch on, people who like to be outdoors, is a sun hoodie. This one's made by Cotopaxi. It just prevented me from having to put like cake sunscreen on my arms and just caking sunscreen on my whole body every day. Instead, I could cake it on my legs and then just be all right for the rest of the day, not get a sunburn. All right, so I also wore a pair of wool socks every day. Even if they get wet, they take a while to dry out, but they'll still keep you warm and they don't smell too bad. Also wore a pair of Shimano, I believe these are the GE9 cycling shoes. Pretty nice little cycling shoe. I was worried about bringing BOA with me. Wasn't sure if that was going to be my thing. Turns out it held up just fine. I was always worried about it failing. You know, the idea that I could replace laces, this would be hard to replace. But hey, it worked out, worked well. Also wore a Smith Session helmet and wore a pair of Bontrager gloves. All right, so that's what I wore every day. Wouldn't change a bit of it. I was very comfortable every single day. Shoes worked great, even for hike bikes. I didn't have sore feet at the end of the day, things like that. The sun hoodie kept me sunburned, also kept me cool all day long. Overall, 2 thumbs up for everything I brought there. So now for the rest of this, I think we'll just kind of work from the front to the back of the bike. Just seems to kind of make sense, and I'm going to try to do rapid fire here as best as I can, otherwise this video is going to get long. But I do want to show you some of the smaller things that I brought. I feel like a lot of other gear list things might leave those out, something maybe that you may not have thought to bring. So we'll start real quick here, rapid fire. Got a mount here for my GoPro, clamps on and off my handlebar. Next, cycling computer, Wahoo Element Roam. This is like a 4 or 5-year-old computer of mine. Next would be front light. Not everybody brought them. I felt the need to bring one. I liked the idea of being able to do some nighttime rides, do some sunset rides as you saw. Another thing that I had that I'm not going to actually take the time to pull off my bike was a phone mount. I use a Peak Design case, so I use the Peak Design mount. It is incredibly robust. It uses magnets to actually lock. What else did I bring? Well, water. Lots and lots of water. I actually was carrying about 4 liters of water on average per day. Sometimes only 3, but usually for the most part it was 4 across the board. I have 2 bottles on the top here on my handlebar, being held in using 2 Rock Geist feed bags, if you will. I don't remember what they actually call theirs. I think maybe like a honey pot or something. With 2 21-ounce water bottles. And then here on the fork, I had 2 1.5-liter Nalgene bottles, 1 on each side. They're 1.5 liters, 1,400 milliliters, a little over 46 ounces. 1 on each side, being held on using a tail fin bottle cage and some volley straps. No complaints there. Then also on the top here, I had some sort of Revelate Designs feed bag on top here, or whatever you want to call it, top 2 bag. Uh, I forget which one it's called. It's got a waterproof zipper, but it's only water resistant. Stayed pretty dry the whole time. In here is where I carried my daily snacks, 5, 6 protein bars, granola bars, stuff like that. Here's my old trash. I also would carry my replacement tablets of Noon or Fizz. Typically it was Noon hydration is what I could find up there. Hammer Fizz was all over Montana because it's from Montana. But Noon would stay in there. The other thing that I would keep in there is a small thing of chamois butter, small thing of squirrel's nut butter here. All right, now we're gonna move on to the front of the bike here. See if I can do this without everything falling off. We got a lot in here, more than you would think. So I'm gonna start here. So I'll start here. We were carrying a Salsa anything cradle the entire time, using their bag as well as their dry bag, theirs being Salsa. Their bag is not waterproof, it is water resistant, and by water resistant, it's kind of water resistant. This thing got wet all the time, got wet on the inside all the time, even before holes got poked in it. So in here, I kept extra GoPro batteries, my knife. In here I also kept my small tripod. So I had that in here, as well as, you know, my headlamps in here. My headlamp, I was running just a little old Black Diamond headlamp here, nothing special, but I got good long battery life. Some extra lenses, extra SD cards, kept in a waterproof clamshell, kept inside of a Ziploc bag because we can't risk that getting wet. The other important thing that I kept in here for myself and others may need was an inhaler. Also in the front, tent stakes for my tent. The rest of my tent actually is inside the dry bag. All right, so this is the dry bag for the Salsa Anything Cradle that it comes with if you buy the whole pack. All right, so inside my handlebar roll, I carried a lot of stuff. I tended to carry my sleep system in here, as well as clothing, some other ends. So one, the thing that you guys saw me wear in Colorado, which a lot of people on the Great Divide were jealous of, I will say, it seemed like, was a pair of down pants. You don't need these. I just know that I'm very adverse to cold. I hate it. I don't do well, and I was gonna need them. Also, inside here is my quilt. This is just a no-frills quilt, nothing crazy special. It's the REI branded Magma Trail quilt, 30-degree quilt, regular length. All right, also in here, we have my tent body. This is my tent body, my stakes. So I am running a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2 bike pack. So then also in here, all my extra clothes. So wool shirt, slept in that every night. Let's see. You got an extra pair of liner shorts, so I rotated liner shorts each day that I wore. Would always try to rinse them out, wash them in a sink, wash them in a stream, wash them in a spigot, something to just keep bacteria from building up in them. I think that was another big contributor why I didn't have saddle sores, was just keeping myself clean. We also have in here a second pair of wool socks, again, just like the liner shorts, rotating them out every other day. My pillow here. It's a Trekology Loft Pillow 2.0. I can't really read the writing here anymore. I also had in here, my warm hat. I slept in this most nights at elevation. This is a Mountain Hardwear hat that I've had since I was, I don't even know, high school at the very least. It's at least a 20-year-old hat. Love it. Why change it? Something I was using at the very beginning, a whole bunch, was these 2XU thermal leggings, I guess you would call them. Great for riding in the mornings when it's very, very cold, which was a huge help in Montana. Also in here, a 2XU thermal top. I almost took this home in Silverthorne for the last leg. I wish I did. I didn't need it. And that's the front of the bike, y'all. All right, now moving on to the middle of the bike. First things first, the handy dandy click stand. I'm sure you may have heard of these, you may not have. You want to be want everybody to be envious of you if you ever have to camp at a site with other GDMBR riders. Have one of these because they'll be looking for somewhere to lay their bike down or lean it up. You're gonna go like this with it. Bam, you got a kickstand. Look at that. On the middle of the bike here, besides the click stand, besides the headphones that we're missing, we got this side of my custom-made Rockgeist frame bag. Fits my bike to a T. On the non-drive side here, we got a small little map pouch where I keep, you guessed it, in the map pouch, my map. This is my current section map. I would keep the others at the bottom of one of my panniers. We have my battery bank. Battery banks aren't waterproof, so it's in a Ziploc bag. Another little tiny little dry sack of mine here. Love this dry sack. This has all my charging cables in it. Has the charging brick for the camera in it. A spare lighter. Spare shift cable. All right, so now moving on to the drive side here of my frame bag. 2 compartments with the center divider. We'll start at the bottom. This is by far the easiest. This is all my maintenance stuff. So lube, rags, toothbrush, things like that for clean the chain, clean the drive chain, train. I used just a bottle of Demontech, just the original formula of theirs. Also in here I had all my other maintenance stuff. So got my tool bag here. Not going to go into depth of what's all in this. If you want to know what's in this, let me know in the comments below. In here as well, we also have patch kits. Yes, I'm not running tubes, but I do have a spare tube with me. So you got to have patch kits, tire levers, as well as what I think everybody should be carrying is extra sealant for my tires. All right, so now moving on to the top compartment here on my drive side. On the drive side of my frame bag, this is where it's just kind of, everybody in their house has a junk drawer, right? They describe this as the junk drawer of my bike. So going in, no particular order. Sunscreen, bigger bottle of, if I can find the bigger bottles, I like it. This is Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch. Also, poop kit, toilet paper, Bogler trowel. With any poop kit, you also need some hand sanitizer, just, you know, sanitation. What else do we have in here? Some electrical tape. Next in there is some what is this? Bug repellent. Get the light here. I have 3/4 of the bottle left, y'all. I can remember putting this on me a few times in Montana. Around like Leadmeadow Lake that night, I had just mosquitoes everywhere. And a few other times. Your mileage may vary. Small bottle of it. Probably wouldn't bring it again, or would bring even a smaller bottle. Titanium spork, long one, so I can dig into different bags to eat. Also in here we had my secret weapon. This is a 2-inch plastic spackle knife. In here we also have a journal. In here we also have rope. This is rope used to hang a bear bag. Also in here we have my water bladder. So I carried an extra water bladder for times like things like New Mexico you saw where water was going to be more scarce. You can pull her out. She's pretty well stored. Is my pump. So pump's got Gorilla Tape on it, 2 different sizes here. It's probably about 2-inch wide, 1-inch wide. Gorilla Tape comes in about 3-inch width-ish. This is a Lezine 4-pump. It's very popular. It's the high volume one. So they make a high pressure one, they make a high volume one. So that's the frame bag. Moving on to the back of the bike. A lot of stuff happening here. So Old Man Mountain Divide rack. It's actually made with Great Divide in mind. We'll start from the top here, work our way down. So on top here, I had a pair of camp shoes. These are Merrell, I believe, Vapor Gloves. Yes, Vapor Glove 5s. Next on top, this was my 8-liter Sea to Summit Big River dry bag. I was able to carry 5 days worth of food. In here, but this is where I keep my stasher. It's brand stasher. I believe it's a 4-cup silicone bowl. All right, moving on to the panniers now, panniers, however you want to pronounce it. So we'll start with our actually let's start with our non-drive side here one. And this one was typically the kind of the stuff that I would need throughout the day, but maybe not need immediately, or may not need it all, but would need some days. We have my wallet. Also in here, I have my water pump. This is a MSR hand pump. Listen, I get everybody's using their Sawyer mini filters or their gravity filters. They want to squeeze the sack super hard and try to push the water out. I don't want to do all that. Yes, this is bigger, but I can just sit there and pump, y'all. And it was super fast, except for that one time where the filter got dirty and wasn't cleaned. That's on me, not on the product. I didn't do the maintenance. Also in here, a pair of Showers Past rain pants. Kept me dry, kept me warm at times too, using them as more like a wind shell. And they dried super fast, breathed well, never got swampy. Even on my way to Lima, where it was 2.5 hours of rain, thunder, lightning, and hail, I never got swampy in this or my trusty rain jacket. This is a black diamond rain jacket. I don't remember exactly what brand it is. It's a newer jacket. I actually got it right before this trip. Also inside the pannier, we have sun hat. Bring a hat, y'all. Just bring a hat. Like, this thing doesn't weigh anything. It is bulky, but I was happy to have a hat when I wanted to have. Aqua tabs for treating water. Bag of meds. Stuff that I needed. If you want to know about doing a long distance biking tour with a chronic medical disease or multiple chronic medical diseases, let me know down below in a comment. It's something I've been kind of toying with the idea of doing. Also in here, DAP shower kit, soap, toothbrush, that kind of stuff. In here as well, we got Showers Past rain gloves. These things are waterproof too. They are waterproof, y'all. They are extremely tight, though. Pack towel, wipe off the tent, wipe off yourself. In here as well is I have 2 of these 24-inch volley straps. I thought 24-inch would be the right size. I would maybe bring 32 next time, just so I could wrap around the front harness if I needed to. Also in here, bottle of super glue. And then actually we have something that I don't hear in too many gear lists. Not too many people some people didn't even have out there. It blows my mind, but a first aid kit. I'm not a medical professional. If you want to know what's in mine, you want a full breakdown of it, let me know again. Let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to go through it and what I chose to bring in my medical kit. I built it myself. I'm a huge believer in making your own first aid kit so you know what is in the kit and you can make sure you know how to use what is in the kit. All right, so we got one more bag left, the drive side pannier bag. Let's get into this bag first. Is my down coat. This is I believe a Big Agnes Soda Peak. Yeah, Soda Peak jacket. Also in here, we have one of my proud things that I brought with me, which is my Jetboil stove. You might notice something from this Jetboil stove. It doesn't look like probably a Jetboil you've seen too recently. It also says patent pending. This Jetboil is 20 years old, y'all, at least. But it still works. In here as well, rounding things out, is my Big Agnes Rapid SL insulated sleeping pad. This is not the smallest sleeping pad in the world, y'all. This isn't even the lightest one that Big Agnes makes or the smallest one they make. But it's reliable, I find it comfortable, and to me, a good night's sleep is worth more than saving weight and size with a sleeping pad. Also in here, we have just a little packable backpack. This is great for getting groceries, things like that around town. So the only other things that I really have in here are going to be my spare tube. I have my rain bonnet for my saddle. It's a shower cap, y'all. And I know people laughed at me at Benton State Park and stuff about it, but people woke up with wet saddles that morning. Mine was dry. And then, yeah, the last thing in here is just some baby wipes. Another secret to my success, baby wipes. That's it. That's all I brought with me. Everything worked great. Like I said, the thermal maybe I wouldn't have brought. Some other stuff, maybe I would have brought a smaller thing, bug repellent or something like that. But I was fully happy with all the gear I brought. It all performed the way I thought it would. It all performed the way it should have. It exceeded my expectations, most of it. I don't think I brought too much. I also don't think I brought too little. I brought enough to be comfortable at camp, enough to enjoy my ride, enough for any situation that could happen. But also, I didn't bring the kitchen sink. Anyways, that's the gear I brought for my Great Divide Adventure 2024. If you got any questions about what I brought, you want more details on something, just shoot me a comment below. I'll be happy to answer. Until the next video, just make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later.